Now, still on that visit to Nigeria, we have a public analyst who's joining us on the news hour for his perspective on this. He's Yemi Saka. Many thanks for your time. Now, we understand the issue of migration and the economy. I really want to understand what is happening. What is this latest, quote-unquote, scramble for Africa?
Well, it's a very direct question, and that deserves a direct answer. It's just the raw materials for European economy. If you look at Germany, Germany is the fourth largest economy in the world, looking at nominal GDP, the fifth largest according to GDP. And Germany's major sector industry, what have is production. So they need the raw materials from Africa, and I think this is a good deal for Nigeria if we can leverage on it. Yes, the Chancellor talked about agriculture. How do we get the credit to come through? Is it going to come to the Central Bank or the Bank of Agriculture? Is it enough for Nigerian entrepreneurs or Agric entrepreneurs, if there's anything like that, to access such funds or credit to build, not just go into farming, build preservation plants and what have you, so that they can have, and even create an export chain for Nigerians, the produce, to get into the market. Especially Germany is the largest. Germany is the central bank of the European Union. It's the strongest economy in EU. So if Germany finds us a worthy partner, I think we should be excited about it.
Really?
Yes.
Because some would say, like my colleague just mentioned now, what is this Scrabble for Africa? Because a while ago we had Macron, although he came to African Shrine, and then we had the Prime Minister's visit from Britain. Now we have the German Chancellor. Although they say it is for the good of perhaps maybe widening the opportunities in Africa, but is it really?
Should we be worried?
Yeah. No. Let me just be more direct. What's in it for these countries, these Western countries coming down to Africa?
Yes, it's like everybody wants to get into a trade deal to come out better off, benefit more than the other parties. So that's what we should look at. Is this a symbiotic relationship or is this parasitic? So that's what we should ask ourselves. If they're coming to the table and we are getting as much as what we're giving them, it's a fair deal. Yeah, in fact, is this even a window for Nigeria to negotiate and even demand German support, even to go into nuclear power generation? Because there's this IEA restrictions on nuclear armaments or nuclear what have you. So if Nigeria can leverage on deals like this, we could put it to the table, okay, fine, you want this from us, we want this technology from you so that we can develop our nuclear power generation. Because if you have a nuclear power plants in Nigeria, we can as well solve the issue of power.
The problem with that is Germany is also trying to shut down its nuclear power stations and is trying to move to renewable energy. And of course, Nigeria has signed a deal with Russia already for nuclear power. And we're worried about nuclear energy, by the way. But I would ask you, how do you think we should really work to get a fair deal for Nigeria? We've seen countries from Europe, from all over the world, from China, coming in here, polluting our environment, making money, and we have impoverishing Africa, so to say. Right. Are we going to have this happening over and over?
I think we need to borrow the templates of our United Kingdom, which brings about strict restrictions about business coming into their country. We should be able to put on the table. There are some things you should abide with. We should have environmental impact assessments of what you're bringing in. Is it going to degrade our landscape? Is it going to degrade our environment? Is it going to bring about pollution and what have you? So once these are checked, then we go with it. Fine. We should. I think in every deal we want to go into, I think the key sectors of the economy of Nigerian sector should be there. It's not just about the central bank or the Minister of Finance or Agriculture. You need Minister of Environment to be there. You probably need the Minister of Health as well to be there, because all these inputs have a far-reaching effect on how robust your agreements will be.
All right, we have Nakan Lagoke online now to bring his thoughts to bear on just the visit of Angela Merkel. What are your thoughts on the perhaps perceived scramble for Africa by Western countries this time around?
Hello, you talking to me, miss?
Yes, I am talking to you, Nakan Lagoke.
Yeah, can you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, I asked you, what are your thoughts on the perceived scramble for Africa by some Western countries?
I missed the last word. The perceived what?
The perceived scramble for Africa by Western countries.
Yes. Thank you very much for the opportunity. We noticed recently that Angela Merkel went to Senegal, Ghana, and then Nigeria. That Theresa May visited Nigeria and went to South Africa. And Uhuru Kenyatta from Kenya, was welcomed by the President of the United States recently. So we can see that there is a new engagement, maybe by the Europeans, to go because they have some particular interest in Africa. in this 21st century because China has been investing a lot in Africa, and then they seem to be insecure, and therefore they are doing everything possible, to re-engage, the African leadership.
So you see this as a kind of power play between countries. We have the America and China, we have Germany and Britain. For you, this is entirely a power play.
Yes, this what is happening. But also, one thing I will say quickly, because I don't know how much time we will have to for this interview. But in the case of Germany, we see that there is a change. 25 years ago when I went to Germany, I was told that there was a division of power of labor between Germany and France. That Germany was focusing on East Africa, not Eastern Europe, and then France was taking care of of Africa. But now, for the last 5 years, we saw that there is a shift, and Germany is showing interest in doing business with many African countries. At the same time, they want to try and limit, that migration problem that is hurting the European countries now.
Right. So, but how do you think we can best achieve a greater deal for us as Africans?
Beautiful question. Beautiful question. We will not be saved by the Europeans. You know that since the 15th century, we experienced slavery, colonialism, and then apartheid, and today the neo-colonial ideology. And then yesterday with the Arabs, from the 7th century to the 14th century, we experienced and endured the trans-Saharan trade. Now, today China is coming, but at the same time, everything that China is doing, it is for the interest of the Chinese, more than 1 billion people. So now we, as Africans, we have to have a clear idea of what we want. We have to try and reclaim, that African collectivism. We have to reclaim Pan-Africanism, and we have to make sure that we become closer, and then that we need to have a Pan-African consciousness, and this is how now we can try, to have like a better deal when we are dealing with all those powers. When China comes, we have the choice of the power of choice, but at the same time, we cannot expect them, to develop Africa. It is only through our own survival, through Pan-Africanism, and the many other things that we need to do.
The watchword there is Pan-Africanism. We appreciate your time. Thank you for your time on the broadcast.
Thank you very much.
Now, back to you, Yemi Saka, before we go. Before the news started, you had reservations about the comment by Mr. President about migration.
Yeah.
What can you tell us more about
In fact, that was the last thought of mine I was going to share with you. I think all these European countries, when it comes to Germany and UK coming to Nigeria and Africa, is just to, like, if they can create a safe environment and a strong, vibrant economy for Africans in Africa, they're trying to reduce the burden of illegal migrants. That gets to Europe. I guess that's another key factor into these agreements and bilateral trades.
Finally, to take on from these meetings that we're having, where do we get to our final destination from all this?
I guess we get a better, stronger economy. Industrialization will advance in all these countries. Technology, we shape technologies and then what have you to move the economy forward.
All right, let's leave it at that. Thank you very much, Yemi Saka, for your thoughts.
You're welcome.
On TVC News Hour.